Hey VC, this is Harvey and welcome to the latest video upload for my channel Spinning the Black Circle. So today I'm going to be filming a little bit on location. I'm going to Moseley Record Fair in the West Midlands. It's a record fair that's held regularly on the first Sunday of every calendar month. Now I'm pretty sure this is the first record fair of 2019, and actually I think the first time I've been there in almost a year. I think was the last time I was at Moseley Record Fair for one reason or another. It's typical of UK record fairs in two ways. So one is nobody talks to anyone unless they know them. Slightly standoffish and frosty stall owners. And unless you bump into somebody that you know, everybody's focusing on what they're looking at. And secondly, the first hour to 2 hours, you haven't got any chance unless you're really aggressive of getting into the racks to see what's going on. So there's a nice little distraction. There's a cafe there that sells Jamaican food. I might just take my time, relax, and see what's in there, and maybe take the less frantic route and just hold off and get into the racks when I can. So I'm going to do this upload in three portions. Actually, the first is to talk through the things that I'm looking for before I go, and the second is I'll try to do an on-location video, which is the whole point of it. I'll certainly, as I walk in, I'll give you a flavour of what the record fair looks like. I might have to be a bit careful about video in stalls without the permission of the stall owners, particularly given some of them are a little frosty. So we'll see what happens there, and then when I get back, we'll compare what I've bought. So I will come back with something to what I was looking for. So what am I hoping for then? So the first thing is three things actually. The first thing is the two Steely Dan LPs from the 1970s that I need to complete my Steely Dan collection. So one is Pretzel Logic from 1974 on vinyl. So that's the one that featured the big radio hit "Ricky Don't Lose That Number." So a nice clean copy of that would be nice. And then secondly, the Royal Scam, which was the LP immediately before Asia. So and I love that LP. So shouldn't be too difficult to get one or both of those at a record fair of this size. But you know, that's the excitement of it. Who knows? I might not be able to find them. The second of the three things I'm looking for. This might be slightly more difficult. It's anything. Any of the early LPs by the Fabulous Thunderbirds featuring Jimmy Vaughan, particularly T-Bird Rhythm, which I really love, and Butt Rockin'. So those two LPs would be great. And the odd thing about the Fabulous Thunderbirds is you don't see them much on the shelves in the UK. Their popularity is kind of more stateside, and you tend to see the Tough Enough LP quite a bit on shelves, which I'm not a massive fan of. But so let's see if I can get some Fabulous Thunderbirds, one of the early LPs by Fabulous Thunderbirds at this record fair. The last choice should be fairly straightforward, he says, which is a prog LP by Caravan called "In the Land of Grey and Pink." So you see that regularly. I would hope to pay no more than £8 to £10 for that, for a reasonable copy. Don't really care whether it's an original pressing as long as it sounds good. So that would be the last thing I'm looking for. Maybe if I can find some Little Feat LPs featuring Lowell George. I haven't got much of that on vinyl, so that would be the outsider choice if I can get my hands on some Little Feat. So let's see what happens. I've got my slightly pretentious vinyl bag with me, which looks better than carrier bags. How pompous is that? But anyway, that's what I'm going to do, and I shall see you when I return from the record fair. Okay, so I'm back from Moseley Record Fair. On the whole, I enjoyed that. I didn't get much in the way of footage. As I walked into the venue, it was very clear that there wasn't enough room to capture anything meaningful on camera. But there were three things that did bug me a little bit about that record fair. And I was thinking about it on the way home, and I think these I could apply to a lot of the record fairs I've been to in the UK. So let's go through those, because it'll be interesting before I talk through the purchases in terms of your comments in the VC about record fairs on these 3 points. So the first is that yes, it was very, very busy, and yes, most people are there genuinely to look through some records, buy some records, and and enjoy the experience. But there were an annoying amount of people who were clearly there because they knew the stall holders. And I don't mean browsing and then talking to a stall holder, then getting embroiled in the conversation about music. There were clearly people there just to socialise with the stall holders, or who knew them and were just there generally. So, one lady with a bag of shopping and toilet rolls in her hand, and she was talking to the stall holder right in front of a busy set of customers who were trying to access the racks. Just get out of the way. I think the stall holders need to control that. They need to say, look, Jim, come behind the counter, or can you just step to one side while the customers look through the racks. So I've seen that before, but that was really evident today that needed to be fixed. The second was, be careful about this one. Most of the stalls today at Moseley Record Fair, the price was about right, or in my case, some of these are fantastic bargains, and I'm really happy about what I paid for them. But there were a couple of stalls particularly where I thought that maybe they were trying to take advantage. I spotted just a normal bog standard copy of Dire Straits Brothers in Arms for, I think it was £15, nothing special about it. UK pressing, similarly about £12 for a copy of, like a nice price copy of Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. Why? And I think it's slightly insulting because the type of people who go to record fairs aren't gullible buyers. They will do their research, know their product. These are music fans, either that or they're DJs or other dealers. So pretty stupid thing to do actually if you hike the price of a record up to that extent. And it's really obvious too that LPs that are that ubiquitous, what do they think? Do they think you're not going to look on Discogs or eBay and check these things out? Even if you're brand new to record collecting, you're going to take that step either, if not before you go, then when you get to the venue. So that's a shame that was starting to creep in. But in the majority of cases, the prices were fair. Let me be clear. And then lastly, I think, and I was reading about this in this magazine, which I've started to get, which is Long Live Vinyl. And the chap in here, coincidentally, in this latest issue that I got yesterday, I was saying that record fairs in the UK need to be more of an event. So I tested that out today, and he's got a point actually, that you essentially walk into a room and there's just a lot of people just jostling for position at racks of records, whereas you need something like a local acoustic guitarist playing in the corner, or maybe you split the room into some sort of thematic way that you set the stalls out. Anything to bring it to life into more of an event. I think the organisers need to think about that, and that is definitely true of record fairs in the UK. Be interested to hear if that's also consistent in the US or in other territories. But in the UK, it's essentially people queuing up, walking into a room, and then jostling for position. The only music you'll hear is a kind of slightly battered jukebox at the back. Probably playing Best of Duran Duran or something like that at the back of the room, or some obscure prog on the other end of the room, and that's all you'll hear on some tinny hi-fi system. Not an event at all. So I think that's something that an organizer at a record fair should think about and fix. Probably just make the whole thing feel more of an experience. Anyway, the main point: what did I buy, and how does that compare to what I set out to look for? So, got my satchel, and it's fuller than I anticipated. So, what was the first thing I purchased? And the good news is that, sorry about this, I did go with the intention of finding Pretzel Logic by Steely Dan, and I found this within the first 2 minutes. Just by luck, actually, there wasn't a Steely Dan section anywhere in the place as far as I could see, but it was in a kind of classic rock section for £7, which might sound steep for this, but it's not, because this is a VG Plus album. I looked at it and I can barely say that it's been played. So, and it was the only copy that I saw of this the whole time I was there, so it doesn't feel like I've been ripped off. I think that's a fair price for this LP, as common as it is. I'm really happy that I've managed to find that, because I set out to get it. And secondly, I'd almost given up hope. Within the last 2 minutes before my son dragged me away and said, "Dad, can we go?" I managed to find The Royal Scam by Steely Dan. Even better, it was marked up as £5, but had a little rip in the top corner here, and it's very dirty. But I think I'm pretty good at spotting when something's scratched and making that judgment. And it's not scratched. It's just dirty. You know, there isn't much wear around the spindle. I don't think it's been overplayed. I don't think I can see any massive gouges or actual scratches on it. I mean, the proof will be in the pudding. I'm going to clean it up on my my Nosty anti-stat machine. I'll bag it up. I'll glue the cover on and put it in a bag, and let's see what that sounds like. But if it is what I think it is, then rather than me getting something off Discogs and taking the risk, I think I've found, when I've cleaned it up, hopefully a VG copy of Steely Dan's Royal Scam, which I was really, that completes my 70s Steely Dan collection. So just for those two items, it was worth going to that record fair. Really pleased. And I alluded to this as something that I might look for as a kind of backup. So, and I'm over the moon that I found Dixie Chicken, one of the key Little Feat LPs featuring Lowell George, possibly even my favourite Little Feat album. And I don't often see this actually in record shops or record fairs. You tend to see the double live LP, Waiting for Columbus, tends to be ubiquitous, and as does Feats Don't Fail Me Now, which is, I find it's an okay Little Feat LP. It's not one of the best. So that seems to be in a lot of record shops and record fairs, and then the debut LP seems to be around quite a bit. But this one I don't see often. So £9 was the ticket price, but then the chap on the stall had 50% off. So for £4.50, and it definitely is VG from what I can see, or VG Plus, for £4.50, you know, I would have happily parted with £9 for that, and I'm over the moon that I managed to get Dixie Chicken by Little Feat, and that's a key item in my collection. So what did I not get before I go on to the other items that turned my eye? So I couldn't find any Fabulous Thunderbirds, and I did see that would be a challenge. I didn't see a single Fabulous Thunderbirds LP in the whole place, so that was that. I did spot a copy of Caravans in the Land of the Grey and Pink, but I'd miscalculated actually because I hadn't looked on Discogs. It was £30 when I saw it on the shelf, and I thought, is this guy trying to rip me off? And I looked on the Discogs app and it starts at £30. So I thought, do I want it that much? And that's always the dilemma for that price, isn't it? And maybe I need to stream that one again and just see if I really want it to the extent I'm willing to pay £30 for it. You know, maybe I'll fall in love with that album so much that I'll always regret never buying that copy for £30. But that wasn't it. I don't think that would have been a smart decision, given I was I've listened to that album a couple of times, quite like it, and I'm not sure paying that sort of outlay was the right thing to do. So I had those three. Did I walk out then? No, because a few other things turned in my head, and I'm very pleased that I stuck around and got some fantastic other things. So the first is this Sandy Denny LP from 1974. It's her third solo LP, named Like an Old Fashioned Waltz. It's a very well regarded LP. You can see from the glare that it's still got its shrink wrap on it. So I think this is brand new. The shrink wrap was unsealed, but this was brand new. It's a 1986 reissue of this LP. I love Fairport Convention, I love Sandy Denny's voice. So I'm over the moon for £13 to have got a copy of that. I snapped that up as soon as I spotted it. Sandy Denny on vinyl, got to be good. The next is something I've owned on vinyl before, and I think it went missing. A few of my records went missing in the house move, and this is one of them. It's Ricky Lee Jones's Pirates, one of her signature LPs, along with the self-titled album. And this was £3, and it's in fantastic condition from what I can see. Again, I'll clean it up, but you know, that's a sort of bargain. Again, not all the stall holders were hiking those prices up. That's a great find. Ricky Lee Jones's one of her signature LPs for £3 on vinyl. The cover's in great nick too, all present and correct. So really happy that I managed to find that. Similarly, on the same stall, I found a Carly Simon LP. It's I've already got her big LP No Secrets and the follow-up Hotcakes, and this is the follow-up to those LPs from 1975, and it's called Playing Possum. This was again £3 from the same stall, and it seems to be in VG condition. Cover looks like it's in great condition too. Looks like it could be no, it's a UK pressing actually. I thought it was a US pressing, but that for £3, it's a major label. Carly Simon LP from when she was firing on all cylinders as an artist. So I wasn't going to turn that down, given I'm a Carly Simon fan, for £3. And I bought one more item, and I was so pleased when I spotted this. It's by a late 80s, early 90s funk rock outfit that I've liked for the last 30 years, Dan Reed Network, and this is their debut self-titled LP. So they're a Portland US band, and they got swept up in the funk rock, renaissance, along with the likes of Red Hot Chili Peppers, 24/7 Spies, and Fishbone. These are slightly more commercial edge to the Dan Reed Network sound, but seeing these guys live, I've seen Dan Reed solo once too, and this debut LP is absolutely superb. And it was £5 on the shelf, but marked up 50%, so £2.50 for it, and it definitely is. I can't see that it's been played much. I think it's a VJ copy of Dan Reed Network's debut LP for £2.50. So, I've got the second LP, Slam. So to have these two on vinyl, this will sound great on vinyl too, because it's a kind of driving, rhythmic funk LP. Really well produced by Bruce Fairbairn, who you probably remember produced a number of Bon Jovi and Aerosmith albums. So this on vinyl, that was an unexpected, and I would never have thought I would have got a VG copy of Dan Reed Network's debut for £2.50 today. So all a success. Didn't get everything that I was looking for, but certainly got me thinking about record fairs. Maybe that's something to comment on. How does that compare to where you live? Whether that's in the UK or the US or another territory. What does a record fair feel like in your country or your city, or when you've been travelling? And how could we make these things more of an event? Maybe it's a UK problem. Maybe the UK is the only place that these things are a bit stilted. But it seems to me that there's something that needs to change there in terms of what these things are. But in terms of the actual purchases, that was less than £40 for those LPs, and I'm really pleased with what I managed to get hold of today. So thanks very much. That's it for this weekend. Like, comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.